Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Belle Collective Season 2, Love, Marriage, and No Baby Carriage. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. We pick up right where we left off. Latrice agrees to speak with Marie so they can move forward. Melanie and Aikisha still bash the brunch as the room gets even more intense. Latrice tries to tell Marie that she had no parts in whatever happened online, but Marie isn't buying it. She feels Latrice indeed took part in publicly downing her business and everything about her family. At this point, Latrice gets in her feelings, letting her know that she's not babysitting an adult woman's feelings. She either believes it or she doesn't. She says, quote, "You can believe whatever you effing wanna believe." Marie leaves the restroom because she's frustrated, and Latrice can't understand why Marie didn't even take the time to fully hear her out. She tells the other ladies that Marie stormed off and she thought they were going to have an adult conversation. Aikisha leaves the venue and lets everyone know that she was in no way empowered. Marie says to production that Latrice likes to throw rocks and hide her hands, but I stand 10 toes down. Her hands are dirty and she played the role with her friends to speak bad things about my business online. She lets Tisha know that if Latrice can admit to her wrongdoing and apologize, then we can move on. She needs to own what she did. Lateshia hugs Marie and lets her know that she loves her. After Marie leaves, Tisha breaks down into tears to production. She's tried so hard to dissuade the drama. All she wants is peace. Aikisha calls Melanie to vent, and in messy fashion, Melanie places her on speaker. Aikisha is upset she wasted her time, and she wasn't empowered about anything. She goes on to say that I thought we were gonna meet some important people, like the mayor. Tisha is tired of the mess and being the peacemaker. When she returns to the table, she learns that Aikisha has left and talked a lot of smack. She now knows from now on that she needs to address Aikisha, and she doesn't appreciate her negative energy. It's four-wheeler time with Sophia, aka So Gucci, her hubby JJ, Latrice, and Cliff. Latrice and Cliff invited them to enjoy their estate that they purchased. It's over 300 acres dedicated as a venue space for events and weddings. JJ is having fun and compliments the beautiful property. Latrice then has an idea for Cliff to give them a great splash since they're behind with freezing lake water. Now, this starts a race war and turns into some great fun. They later come inside for some hot cocoa and great conversation. The hot topic is the brunch. Sophia thinks that it was rude for Aikisha to leave and say rude things. She could have just been more reserved and a little bit more supportive. JJ can't understand what is the beef between Latrice and Marie. Latrice updates the fellas that Marie is intimidated by her, and Marie thinks that she spread rumors about her. Sophia wants them to just get to a point where they can heal because it's necessary. Sophia wants to know something a little bit more important. Are her and Cliff gonna have a baby soon? Latrice says that she's not ready to have a baby. She wants to be in the right headspace. So Gucci says to production that she agrees. Latrice should continue to follow her dreams and be in the right headspace for a child. A baby is a really big deal. Latrice says to production that Cliff knows that having a baby will slow me down. And Cliff throws some shade, saying, "Don't be like Tambra." Tambra then meets with Aikisha and several things need to be addressed. She wants Aikisha to know that Tisha really cares about uplifting women and doing what's best for the community, despite what happened at the brunch. Aikisha lets her know that she's not that petty and she still wants to work with Tisha. Tisha shouldn't be so upset though when she requested to have another plate that wasn't dirty. On another note, Aikisha shares that she gave kudos to women who have their children later in life. It's really rough, and I juggle it all. I had several rounds of IVF and couldn't carry. When I later had my baby, they were truly miracles. I felt that experience made me insecure in my marriage. I felt, if I can't have these babies, will my husband leave me? Gladly, with all of the treatments, they finally were able to conceive. naturally. She honestly believes that when it's meant to be, it will happen. Aikisha doesn't like that Tambra has been with Damon for so long and there hasn't been any talks of marriage. They need to make a decision quickly about what's next. Raising a child with a husband is hard. Aikisha can't imagine her having a baby that's just a part-time parent and a part-time relationship person. Marie has had a rough day. Raven's funeral indeed took a toll on everything. After the funeral, she had several lupus flares. The energy got so low that she couldn't function and even had to use a walker. Essie comes by to check on Marie. Jerez is taking it hard, but he's still focusing on school. Marie even says that she feels to get back on track with her ex that she might need to buy him a Rolex. It's something that he feels that he needed. Essie can't believe her ears. You honestly think a Rolex will make your previous relationship get better? Rekindling something over a watch? You need to make sure that you focus on yourself. And Marie confirms that she gets tired because she takes care of a lot of people, even financially. Essie continues to encourage her to please make sure that you take better care of yourself. Latrice goes to visit her mom, and Latrice notes that it broke her heart when her mom was a housewife and her dad left the marriage, leaving her mom with nothing. She had to start over and make a way for her children. Her mom tells Latrice that her ex-husband was very jealous-hearted and didn't allow her to go anywhere. Cliff is just like that, and Latrice married her daddy. Latrice shares that due to family trauma, she's been afraid of being that type of mom. She has no confidence that men will stay in her life. After her dad left, her brother stepped up and got into the street life, taking away their youth and even having their life taken away by death or jail. Her mother asked flat out, "What do you want? Do you want a baby?" Latrice says that she knows that she will want a child eventually, but fears her husband leaving. Her mom is saddened that she feels that way, but surely it's about healing and not fearing the future. Latrice doesn't want a child, and she doesn't want that child to experience what she experienced. So she needs to do some soul searching and place a pause on having a baby until she figures things out. Now the crescendo of conversations. Aikisha and Lateshia speak. Aikisha makes it known that the brunch was a mess, and she expected more. It's not her fault that things went left and her plate was dirty. Tisha is very vocal that it wasn't just the mishap at the brunch, but Aikisha spoke on several things. You were one way on the phone, but when you came to the brunch, you were someone else. Your energy even walking in was very negative. Aikisha apologizes for coming off as negative, and that wasn't what she intended. She wants to move forward. Tisha wants to do the same thing and refocus on Ferris Street, her idea. Tisha says to production that she doesn't know if Aikisha is for empowering or just craves power. Tisha also brings up that if she knows somebody by the name of Damon, aka Greedy, and Aikisha does say that she knows somebody by that name and hopes that everything's okay. Tisha says that, Damon and Tamra's good relationship, I thought it was a good thing going, but apparently my friend says something else. Aikisha says to production that I hope that no one is trying to break up Damon and Tamra's relationship. She tells Tisha that the goal is to get Ferris Street back up and running, to get traction back to the street by bringing more business to the area. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my reviews. So Aikisha, as I explained in the other reviews for episodes 1 and 2, some people have experience, have the notions in good business, but sometimes their delivery and ways of wanting to help can come off as very abrasive, very looking down my nose at you, very high horse type of personality. And usually when people are built and meshed in that experience, in other words, have grown up with a silver spoon or have been into that lifestyle, when they're adults, it's really hard for them to see things a different way. I give a good example. If I grew up a millionaire and I go to a brunch, right? If I went to a brunch like Lateshia, to me and my substandards, I don't think that is up to par for what I have experienced, right? But a person with good understanding and someone who has good valor, and maybe even being solace. In other words, you are showing compassion that maybe that is the best of what this person has to bring. Therefore, you are appreciating it. Some people do not have the sympathy and empathy to understand different people's lifestyle. It was very rude for Aikisha to behave the way that she did, saying this is terrible, this is that, which the brunch was not very well organized, and some things happened because it's supposed to be a very professional and fun event. I get that. But like Xoxo was saying, Sophia, she was saying, she could have got past that and just been, encouraging and just kind of look past it and just been a little bit more supportive. I do agree with that. But everybody doesn't understand that because maybe they grew up in a different setting. Is it an excuse? No, but it's a legitimate factor that has a lot to do with Aikisha behaves the way that she does. I don't even know if she's seen herself in playback and is able to view how she speaks and her tone and how she, is approachable or maybe non-approachable to people, and if that would make a difference. Hopefully the reunion special, when she looks at a lot of the playback, maybe she can go, wow, do I really act like that? Do I really come off like a biatch? I mean, hey, I don't know. Or maybe she has seen playback footage of herself and she doesn't care. That's just the way that she is. Different personalities is just, wow. Sometimes you just have to view people as, this is a good business endeavor. This is a good relationship business personality that I can mesh with. Not maybe, hey girl, we can grab some lunch and tiki over a lot of stuff. Now, Tambra knows Aikisha and they seem to get along. And Tambra said, to production before she introduced her to the ladies that she can come off as shady. So she knows her friend is shady and she knows she can go under the belt a lot. But here's my question for you that you can leave into the comments. Are those the kind of relationships that you need to throw away? Tambra may be very close to Aikisha, right? But that kind of notion and being shady and talking to people like that, is that a relationship maybe that Tambra is afraid to let go of? Because sometimes we can outgrow people, not just because of experience and moving forward, but sometimes the toxicity, you being shady and not really being a genuine friend, that can put a damper on a relationship. And sometimes you really have to evaluate, is this person worthy of being a friend? Clearly she's evaluated that because she's like, hey, my friend can be shady, I'm glad she's back, but to me, I wouldn't hold on to stuff like that because all it's going to do is just roll over onto you. And maybe she hasn't went to Tambra with that because, maybe, how some people can get away with certain things with certain friends. Maybe Aikisha knows that she really can't, take it there with Tambra. Who knows? That may be something more that we see later on in the season. Production has its way of mixing and chopping arguments and drama in a series. So the way we see stuff in the previews may not even play out like that. Let's talk about JJ and Xoxo. So it's only episode 3. So I'm pretty sure we're going to go more into depth with Xoxo and JJ. That JJ was in the Dancing Dolls production with his daughter. She's part of that dance team. So I just really want to know how JJ and Latrice met and how that timeline goes with his child and the mother of his child, and how that kind of flows and how they have a blended family. I can't wait till we get to them because we've seen Latrice and all the other ladies from the season before, and Aikisha already on episode whatever is exhausting already. I don't think there's really going to be any type of hero moment with Aikisha unless she just really gets Ferris Street booming at this point, because I'm already exhausted from her criticism, and it's like, girl, what else are you bringing to the table? But we've seen the previous episode 4, that we're seeing more of her family life and her husband, so hopefully we can go more into depth into her. When it comes to Lateshia, I can relate to her on certain things that you want to uplift, you want to be positive, you want to bring people together, but sometimes a lot of people aren't on the same page as you, and you have to let those situations go. In that brunch situation, she did have close, friends and people that she's known all her life to support her no matter what. But when it came to that brunch and then those personalities, you would think maybe she would need someone who could plan that for her, to where she just shows up, or it's just this idea and this concept. It's put a damper throughout the city when she talked to investors for Ferris Street. those doors were closed before she can get to it because people heard about the brunch. So I'm thinking maybe the brunch idea should change to something else because it's already sent negative waves through the city with people who might have been interested in Fair Street, but they just don't want to deal with her because, it's unfortunately the backfire of Lateshia getting the negativity from the project. There's really not too much more to say. I've already given my 2 cents about Marie and the struggles with her taking care of everyone and how it's going to affect her health, and it is affecting her health, and it seems to be a little worse. But with Marie, she's dealing with so much emotionally, not giving her excuse because her behavior in a lot of situations is just very uncalled for and unprofessional, but she does need professional help. She does need to take a moment to really take a breather and maybe not take care of so many people. Now, she does have a son that's in school and he does have children. But Marie probably needs to kick in some tough love when it comes to him because she's still raising her current children with her older son who has kids. He is an adult, and she's taking care of so many people financially. And I just, that's such a strain. And if anybody's from the hood, the country, had harsh upbringings, when you get a little piece of the pie, when you quote unquote make it, you feel like you are obligated to take care of everybody else because you would have wanted somebody to do the same thing for you. And I think in this situation, Marie needs to learn that beautiful word, no. One thing that I found about Latrice and her mom, is it me or did I find it interesting that Latrice is just living in a deluxe apartment in the sky and her mom is still kind of like in a, like the hood, and to me, I thought, well, why doesn't your mom, have a life that's comfortable? It could be either one or two things. Either Cliff doesn't want her to put the money into helping her mom, or 2, you have some people that just say, hey, I know that you're successful and you want to take care of me, but this is where I grew up. This is my home, and this is where I want to stay. That could be going on. But I just find it very interesting how she came in a nice, the Jeep Mercedes, and she just pulls up into her mom that's in a, a lower income area. And I was just like, there's no way I could let my mom, live that way. And I'm just living this life, this lavish life. I have this beautiful property with my husband, this beautiful home. And I also have 300 acres. I have all of this other stuff, and my mom is still working. And I just found it very interesting. Let me know if I'm looking too deeply into that, but to me, I thought that was very strange. Other than that, this episode was good. I think we're just in the early stages of the season, and I know that there's more to come. I know it. Hopefully Tambra will see the light in putting her foot down. And what is the final decision on the baby? What is the final thing on relationship? Because in the meantime, we're not getting any younger, and I wouldn't want Tambra to waste time on an idea with somebody instead of actually putting it into action. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Ready to Love Miami. Binge watch those episodes. I have all the previous seasons, and stay tuned for Atlanta and HBO's original series, House of Dragon. You do not want to miss it. Very amazing show. If you're not a Game of Thrones fan, that's okay. They've made it very obvious with the writers and the production of HBO and that season that they will make it very detailed. If you've never even heard of Game of Thrones, you have no idea what's going on, that you will be able to follow this new season of House of Dragon. Make sure that you check that out, and also check out other playlists. In the meantime, in between time, remember to take care of yourself and each other. Bye.